12-episode comedy, slice of life, seinen, science fiction and fantasy. Well, you didn't have to go that far, you got me intrigued on science fiction and slice of life part. These two rarely work together in a way that makes them watchable in any way, shape or form. I am also surprised that the title art for this anime is surprisingly tame, albeit nothing I haven't seen before in these sorts of shows. Hinamatsuri is an anime created by Feel. If you haven't heard about them before, don't worry, it's not really hard to miss them, considering that the most memorable thing I can tell you about their catalog is that show about Galko-chan I rambled before. It follows the misadventures of a Japanese mobster named Yoshifumi Nitta, who, due to a set of slightly contrived circumstances, acquires a personal psychic lolly from some alternative universe named Hina, or something along those lines. Now that I think about it, the show never told us where Hina and the rest of the psychic girls came from, or what sort of abominations they have to fight in order to justify conscription of 13-year-olds. But I digress. The show then describes the average life of a Yakuza who looks and acts more like your typical comedy relief Yakuza as he tries and eventually learns to be a great father figure to an aloof, possibly autistic little caviar eater who blows up people and uses telekinesis really damn efficiently. And yes, occasional use of powers is the only science fiction element in this whole thing. The rest of it is comedy about Hina and her friends. One friend is constantly getting herself in jobs that are usually for adults, the other is taught life by homeless people, thus making her the main way show tries to squeeze tears out of you, and the rest of them I honestly can't even remember. They either had little screen time, were one-off, or just blatantly unfunny. And coincidentally, barely remember one-off and sometimes unfunny is exactly how I can describe this show in a nutshell. Now, it doesn't mean that it's bad, its humor is actually pretty good. Most jokes are executed perfectly, have little additional elements to them, and in some cases can get pretty dark in their implications. The graphics and animations are pretty solid as well, and the characters, at least the main ones, are pretty likable and easy to bond with. Where the show suffers, however, is the pacing of the story. The first episode starts like your typical sci-fi drama, and then it devolves into comedy pretty quick. So quick, in fact, that a lot of people will probably be confused by this transition, as for a show that has psychers and such, we barely see them use any sort of powers, which can be disappointing for people who expected to see, you know, some action, like in the first episode. Combine this with almost non-existent music, some painfully dull jokes that stand out, and an occasional lame attempt at social commentary, and what you have is a show that is well crafted and easy to binge-watch in a day or two, but afterwards you'll at best remember that you weren't unhappy with the show, not able to explain exactly why. I suppose that's kinda the thing some people would want. Hell, I enjoyed this watery chicken soup for what it was, but sometimes people need a really big loaf of meaty pizza with roasted onions, tomatoes, a little bit of minced meat, and with a healthy dose of apple tomato sauce and a bit of cheddar on top, and this body has to eat something before recording. God damn it.